So I had shooters on the line. We were shooting rifle, and I had everyone try a couple kneeling positions. We started with a double knee. And so all that means is both knees are on the ground and you're upright, and your musculature, your core is the thing providing your stability. Now, after a while, that's going to get a little tiring unless you have something to brace against or rest on. And basically, yeah, do that long enough and it turns into a good ab workout. From there, we move to a single knee. And as I'm walking down the line, I'm looking at each shooter and everyone's doing just fine. I noticed one shooter in particular that kind of stood out. And typically, as a firearms instructor, if you see something that stands out, you probably need to pay a little bit more attention. What I had was a left-handed shooter. And as we all know, left-handed shooters are bad. But we had a left-handed shooter. His upper body was looking correct as a left-handed shooter, but his lower body was reversed. It was more like a right-handed shooter. So if you can visualize this, his shooting hand, his elbow was on his left knee that was up and his right knee is down. So what this causes is his support hand is just kind of floating in the air. Do this long enough, and as long as he's holding on to this rifle, there's a possibility of this affecting his overall accuracy because there's nothing supporting the weight of the gun up front. So I went to him and talked to him and said, hey, tell me about your position. What's going on? And he said he is left eye dominant, but right-handed. So he shoots his handgun with his right hand, but rifles are lefty. Well, this is really a non-issue. This is actually very common. The one thing, though, that I had a concern with was the stability of his current position. So what I told him is switch it up, switch legs, put your left knee down, your right knee up, and put that support elbow on the right knee and see how that works for you. Well, right off the bat, he tries it and he said, man, that feels weird. And yeah, it would. If you've been shooting for as long as he has, and no one's ever brought this up to him, and now we're changing it all up, yeah, that's going to feel weird. He was incredibly receptive to the feedback, and he completely understood where I was coming from. But it's sad that he can go this far, and we're talking years and years in his career where no one pointed it out. So for you as the instructor, or even as a fellow student, when you see something that kind of stands out, ask some questions. If you see something that, you know what, just a little change might help the stability of someone shooting, it doesn't hurt to bring up. Unfortunately, I think a lot of people they're too afraid to address things, or they're just not paying attention. And a lot of times with no cop left behind, as long as someone's hitting that or passing that qual, that's fine. And one of the things I mentioned in the class the other day was typically law enforcement training isn't doing anything to make someone that much better. It's actually just preparing them to pass that qual. And if you really want to get better, you need to take things a little bit more seriously and maybe even take training into your own hands where you need to invest your own time, your own money, and go somewhere beyond just what the agency provides. And agencies can provide some great training, but just bear in mind, if you want to go to that extra step, if you want to get that much better, that's going to be completely reliant on you. So that's all.